Hey everybody, it's Barbara, and this is going to be the beginning of my reviews of the three W Club dolls for 2018. And you're already probably saying to yourself, well, if this is the W Club dolls, why is the IFDC Poppy Parker box front and center? The reason that it is because I wanted to create a video where I just take a moment to talk about the new packaging itself before talking about the packaging and the dolls. I think they've really upped their game with packaging. I know I talked about this with the Poppy Parker. Well, it seems like they're going forward now with fashion royalty and new faces, you'll see in a second. And they've continued to up their game. This opening will be the opening for all three W Club dolls. So after you watch one, you can go ahead and forward through to the end of this segment and then go ahead and just watch the review of the dolls. But back to IFDC, the International Fashion Doll Convention that took place in July in Las Vegas. There were 4 Poppy Parkers that were part of a convention collection. And they all came in this lovely box, which was highly unusual in its design. First of all, it was 3-dimensional. This middle part can spin. Also, both the top and middle of the boxes were lined and had an extra layer of depth to them. In the case of the bottom of the box where the doll actually would have been, it was lined in plastic. This is just a double layer of gold. Not just, it was done very well, I should say. And then the accessory box also was 3-dimensional. It does have that spinning piece in the middle, and it was done with almost, you almost feel like this is completely recyclable packaging, which it is not, but it has that sort of hint to it. So they started to up their game at IFTC, which is originally what led me to say in my previous Poppy Parker reviews that Poppy was taking over as the flagship line of Integrity toys. Well, let's go ahead now and see these potential hints to what's coming. But let's just go ahead one at a time and take a look at these new boxes. The fashion royalty, the logo itself has not changed terribly much. You still have the FR in the box. They do call it a limited edition collectible doll. It is two-toned. It's a cream with a glossy mauve at the corners. All the corners. And on the back, we're told that this particular doll was designed by Jessie Alea, and the packaging was by Alain Tremblay. The design came from North America, but it was executed and made in China. This is the big difference. If you saw when I opened the Poppy Parker, I opened it like a traditional box. I pulled the top from the bottom. This has a sort of manila envelope, interdepartmental mail opening. So you have to unravel the string, which is, by the way, a lighter shade of salmon than the mauve that you see at the corners. I was trying to think how I wanted to say that, I'm sorry. And that greater mauve color continues inside the box. Now, obviously, guys, at some point I will do the review of these dolls. This is the new box. This is the new accessory box. Usually the accessory box has tabs that hold it in place on the sides. This just opens straight up. So it open you have the tab here, it just opens straight up. And the accessories are supposed to stay in there. In this case, her accessories popped out. I like this on first blush. No pun intended. On first blush, I like this because it's probably going to be easier to get the accessories out without having to destroy the box. It also means that you don't have to go through like little tiny compartments to get everything out. Everything is in one piece. And it could almost double like a suitcase, which I'm always into. So that's the FR box. The new face box is very interesting. When I first saw it on Instagram, and the boxes themselves started to leak out the day that the final payment notices were emailed to folks in the W Club. I saw this and I thought Old Vegas with the neon lights and the neon signs. And if you can see very closely, which I think is a pretty cool way to do this. I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see this on the video, but behind the obviously lit up letters of New Face, you can see in what would be the appropriate darker gray coloring, the neon tubing that would feed the gas in and through to light it up. So that's a pretty cool detail. And again, you have, which I will open in a second, the manila envelope type opening. New Face on the back, and in the lower left-hand corner, this is again a Jessie Alea design. Alain Tremblay has done the box. Designed in North America, made in China. The box is basically going to just have the lettering on it in silver or gray, depending on your palette. And the string is going to match the silver, which leads me to believe, that the inside of the box is going to match the string, though the accessories are going to have the same neon sign effect. And if you just lift up, oh, she's got a lot of accessories and they're just waiting to pop out, which they did. So, but again, it does appear to be a lot easier to store them. It's a lot more effective this way, I think. Last but not least, we have Poppy. Now, this Poppy box is reminding me immediately of the French Connection. You have the gilded edge right at the, either the bottom of the top part of the box and the top of the bottom part of the box. You have that second and third tone. In this case, it's gold and a white dotted line that's going to follow through around the entire box. The main color is fuchsia. The gold repeats in the lettering. And there is an orange subtone, which is I presume is going to be the inside of the box. It's the box where the doll is. This matches her outfit, which I know what it looks like because we've seen the previews of it. And once more, the doll design and logo is by David Boutry. David created not only the doll, but he did his own logo. And the packaging and product photography is by Alain Tremblay. And I'm sure somewhere somebody's like, you're mispronouncing his name. I very well could be. And I was completely wrong. There is another color to this box. It is aqua blue, which is not an unknown color in the Poppy Parker universe. And much like the Parisian Connection, I'm going to lift this instead of trying to turn it. Much like the Parisian and the UK, the accessory box is at the very top. So again, you don't have, I think they're done now having the tabs in on the sides of the doll box for you to pull out the accessories, and then you have to sort of do some yoga to reposition it. Her box is at the top. So this video is just coming in at over 10 minutes and 30 seconds. So the next thing you're going to see is my review of either the Fashion Royalty, the Poppy, or the New Face. And if you'd like, you can always pop forward roughly to the 11-minute mark, and that will be the start of the review of the dolls proper. And I look forward to seeing you in there in a few minutes. And we're back with Modernist Eugenia, who we will take a look at in a second. I just wanted to show you, because I never ever do this, I never show the certificate of authenticity. But in this particular case, I thought it was interesting that this seal that's over here in silver is something that you will see repeated a little bit in her jewelry and her purse. Also, I thought it was interesting that my number, out of 1,461 Eugenias that were made, mine is 1434. I always wonder who gets the number 1 and the number 2. Is that wrong to say, who gets number 1 and number 2? Okay. Anyway. Ta-da! This is Eugenia. And if you're pausing for a moment and you're wondering that something's not quite the same, Eugenia is in an African American skin tone. Eugenia Perrin-Frost was introduced to us, unless I missed something, as a Caucasian character. And for the purposes of this club doll, using the Eugenia sculpt, they made her African American. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about that. I think if a doll is meant to be African American, Hispanic, Asian, biracial, multiracial, that is how they should remain. I don't think you should play with race. I don't think that's what they intended to do in this case. I think they wanted to give the club members options. I'm not sure, though, if changing race should be an option with this doll. With any doll in Integrity Toys. Or Barbie, for that matter. So let's go ahead and get her a little bit closer. The first thing I want to talk about, very quickly, is her eyes. She has extraordinary eyes. Her lashes are applied, they are real, and they are the longest I have ever seen on a doll. They are so long that I actually had to sort of flip the doll up just to figure out what color her eyes are. P.S. Like the shades of her eyes, they are blue. At the very top of her lid is an icy blue, almost white shadow, immediately followed by a much darker blue that lines a kind of a sea blue that's 2 shades darker than her outfit on what would be the lower lid, and her eyes are lined in black. She does not appear to have much blush, if any, on her cheeks, and her lips are a matte mauve, much like the inside of the box that she came in. Set this back down, and I'm going to turn the stand around. Her hair is, as you can see, to the bottom of the waist, the top of the hip. There is no product in it. It is soft and it is straight and looks to be fully rooted, or at least what I would consider to be fully rooted. And her dress is going to close in the back with hook and eye. She is wearing cocoa colored panties underneath this, which I'm not going to go through the trouble of showing you. I am, however, going to lift the stand up and show you her foil colored moonscape-esque boots that go above the knee with zippers on the outside. The zippers work. And she has a nice heel. It's not quite a stiletto, but it's a nice heel. And the sole is black. It's very hard. Let's see if I can tip this so you can see it. Yeah, it's black. This is called the Modernist, and I do believe it's more a nod, if anything, to modern architecture. If you think about modernist architecture and the kind of geometric patterns they use. I won't say overall that the cut of her dress is geometric, though you can see that there is there is a bias cut in her outfit that kind of begs for a Janet Jackson moment. It is lined, by the way, almost the same, suiting lined, same shade of blue. The material, I would say, is, I'm not quite sure what to call this. I'm going to go with like a light wool, which is weird that this came out in summer, but I digress. Originally, when I had her posed, I had her left hand up because she's wearing a cube style ring, which has a ball on it, and that pattern, this is the first time you're going to see that circle, by the way, from the certificate of authenticity, and again, the balls are in her hoop earrings, giving them a little bit of character and definition. You will also note that her nails are very silver, as are her toenails. And I think that is to reflect the silver accessories that she comes with. Speaking thereof, you've seen most of them. She does come with a purse, which again this is basically where I said, oh, this is that silver seal is here in the purse. It has both a strap to go over the shoulder, which does seem to detach. It does have the mechanism to detach, so if you just wanted to turn this into a bag that you can just carry like so, she can do that. And there's a zipper, which works, and in which you could put probably the other major accessory, which is her sunglasses, which I will put on. Interestingly, they are, I'm gonna put the light to it. They are, see if I can, there you go, that's it. It's gray, but the lenses are a dark blue. So it's capturing most of the outfit and her makeup. It seems a shame, though, to put the glasses on because her lashes are so on point, or on fleck, as some people might say. Not me. So since I did that, I might as well just put the purse over her shoulder and give you the whole look. There you go. And that is Eugenia. Eugenia is, as I said, modernist, and she is one of the club dolls. I almost forgot, sorry. She comes with dialing hands, by the way. And that will complete her look entirely. So, and obviously, yes, the nails match. They're on 2 tones nail polish. So, yes, this is Modernist Eugenia, the club doll. My final thoughts on this doll are, for a doll, who is supposed to have that modernist space age look, kind of a throwback to the 60s, more along the lines of the architecture, of the art museum in Bilbao, Spain. Um, this works. My problem is, and this is the last time I'll say it, my problem is Eugenia is Caucasian. I don't think you should make a doll a different race just to give her a different look. But that's me. All right, so for Eugenia and for me, Barbara, I will see you guys in my next review, which is going to be the new face Reina. Talk to you then. Bye-bye.